Meet just a few of the Riverside Rockets.
I like using computers. I was from Korea.
I have a baby sister.
I read novels. Well, I'm from England.
I'm the SEA president.
I really do like nature.
These children all have different interests, come from different cultures, different socioeconomic backgrounds. They speak different languages, and they all bring to school their own unique set of needs. Identifying and meeting these individual needs in such a diverse student population has become a challenge for today's schools. The staff at Riverside Elementary is meeting this challenge. They are accomplishing this by providing as much one-on-one attention as possible, by implementing programs and projects which address specific needs, and by involving the entire staff in the education and socialization process.
One very important strategy we use, I think, is our teachers being in a planning group. We call them team leaders. And there are representatives from across the school, each grade level and special education. And we meet and plan and look at issues and special needs and determine ways we can provide opportunities for teachers to try different strategies and work together. Many of our teachers use cooperative learning format. Of course, we have many different programs in the school, reading recovery and our computer technology program. All of these things in combination with our counselors, and we have tutors from the high school and our business partner, all working together to help the students.
Riverside School is a beautiful sight. Its striking colors are red and white. A school that stands so proudly for all. It's the one that beats them all. Soar, Riverside, soar, Riverside.
The theme we've picked this year is Riverside Rockets Reaching for the Future. We feel that high expectations for students is what we want to focus on. This is my third year at Riverside, and it has changed dramatically with the fact that we've implemented all these projects and all the programs that we've implemented over the past 3 years. We've grown tremendously from a school of around 435 students to 588. We have 8 trailers out back that are used by staff. We use reading recovery in a closet, and we're using a teacher's lounge for an upper grade LDSC program.
One unique program they have implemented takes place first thing in the morning. The breakfast program, which was implemented 2 years ago, welcomes students to school with a hot, hearty meal.
Today I'm having for breakfast waffles, apple juice, and chocolate milk.
Breakfast is also a time for the staff to talk with the children, find out how they're feeling, and to deal with any problems they may have before they get to the classroom. Every staff member is involved in this process, from the principal to the custodian.
Our custodian's name is Mr. Lenthicum, but since the children can't pronounce that name, they call him Mr. D. And he's usually in there in the morning, too. And this gives some of our male students an opportunity to talk with a male. They like to see him there. They like to interact with him. And he gives them a lot of encouragement. You know, how are you going to do today? Did you get your homework done? So he's a very integral part of what goes on in there in the morning as well.
To come in and we show them. We had a board up here with all these different things that you put in the recyclable, and they come through and do it. And we don't recycle metal, but all plastics, forks, knives, plates, and then I try to get each class to outdo the other one to see which one can make the best showing. And that's what they do. They come through the line and they'll separate it. Dump the food in here, dump the plastic in here, stack their trays here, pick up the sponges out of the water, go clean their tables, and they just help Mr. D every day to do his job.
This care and concern for students continues throughout the day.
We have a staff that is committed to children. They work hard, they take courses. The first grade teachers have committed to take the Basic Reading Strategies course, which gave them the same kinds of strategies used by reading recovery teachers. a good portion of us right now are taking a multicultural education course, which we're very excited about.
There are programs which target all groups of students, from the gifted and talented to those who just need extra help.
If you fixed it, would it have been okay to say Miss Poole? Yeah. Why?
Does it make sense?
Exactly. But you corrected it anyway. I want us to look at page 5. Would you please read that again and make the words match your pointing?
This is Reading Recovery, which is part of Chapter 1, a federally funded program for children who need assistance outside of the classroom. One of the teachers explains how this works.
My program is basically a pull-out program, and I reinforce the teaching or the skills that are being taught in the regular classroom. And I pull children out in small groups and work with them on their language, their reading, their writing skills. And that's basically coordinated with the teacher. We get a planning form from the teacher that gives us an indication of what things they're working on in the classroom. And then in this small group, we try to reinforce those same types of skills, so that then when the children go back into the classroom, hopefully then they're able to do these things.
As Ms. Funk mentioned, the implementation of new programs produced a shortage of teaching space. This reading recovery session is being held in a storage closet. Others are held in the teacher's lounge. And these trailers, which are located behind the school, were added to house additional classrooms, such as this one. This is a Learning Disabilities Immersion class. Janice Narrell explains the term immersion.
Well, it has a lot of meanings to a lot of different people. Immersion is when the regular ed students and the special ed students, the learning disability students, share the classroom for the entire day. And the teachers, both the regular and the special ed teachers, plan the day accordingly, and they adapt within the classroom.
Immersion is part of the special education program. While it is still in its beginning stages, it has been successful in its goal to meet each student's needs. Some learning disabled students have needs which can only be met in a pull-out program, while others experience more development in an immersion class such as this one.
And it depends on the IEP, the Individualized Educational Plan of the student, first of all. We have found over the last couple of years, though, that those who are successful within the mainstream are learning social skills that they didn't learn within the regular class. Their self-esteem is definitely increasing, being in with the regular ed students, even if we're adapting the instruction. We adapt for all kids, not just the LD kids or the classified students. So I think they feel a greater level of success. And so those two are primarily, and academically, many times they come a lot farther.
Okay, so I saw them taking turns. Is that what you're saying? You did one thing, someone else changing roles as well, and then you discussed what each of you looked at? Yeah. So you had different roles.
Not only does Ms. Narrell assist the students, but also helps the regular classroom teacher.
To have a learning disabilities teacher working with me in the classroom is wonderful for several reasons. One, it's a second teacher, and we're a team. We do all of our planning together. So therefore, instead of me creating the ideas and for the first time working with the students, they would have like a rough draft of my plans, I get the chance to brainstorm with the second teacher, and we work together.
Recently, a third person has been added to this classroom. This is Carol Quinn, a student teacher from George Mason University.
So if you think that's 1, then how many grams is this? If that small marble is 1 gram, how many grams is a big golf ball?
Or if you put it right here, I pick.
What's your guess?
Carol is one of 6 student teachers brought into Riverside this year to assist the faculty in the classroom and in the guidance department. These people were brought in to give students more one-on-one attention. The more individual attention the children can get, the better. Melissa Williams is an intern who adds yet another dimension to the students' education. She is deaf.
Why not add to the story about the things that you were looking for, about looking for the little girl? What happened? And maybe an idea like, where did the girl go? Did she go out to a restaurant, or where would you look for to find her?
I'm not at that part yet.
We're very, very fortunate this year to have a student teacher intern from Gallaudet University. This is a new experience for us and definitely a new experience for the students. She's working with Miss LeBlanc in third grade class, and she has come with vitality. She's so excited and she wants to be here and she wants to be a part of our program here. The children have just welcomed her with open arms, and they're excited about she comes with an interpreter every day, and the interpreter helps her communicate. But the children have accepted that, and they are learning sign language. They've really come to respect her and to have a better understanding of her as a person and what her special needs are. So it's been a really valuable experience, and we're hoping we can continue it in the future.
I came to visit the classroom during the fall semester, and the kids already knew some sign. You know, they knew how to sign a song, which they did for me. You know, and so they had already started to learn to sign before I got here, and that was great. You know, they'd already had some sign language books, and the students had been practicing their ABCs, and I've been teaching them also some sign language.
This is a car. This is a cow. This is a boat, an airplane, a bulldozer, a dog, a cat, M-A-R-C-U-S.
While 6 interns are a great asset to the classroom, there still are not enough people to give the students the individualized attention that they need. To help fill this gap, the staff is getting some additional help.
My name is Michael Jackson, and this is Andre, my peer helping buddy, and I'm his buddy, and we just work on, he reads to me and does things he don't get to do a lot. Like today we're working on these worksheets about faces and feelings. He drawing a picture of himself when he gets invited to a party and stuff like that, things to make him happy.
Michael and the other tutors are from Mount Vernon High School, located just across the street from Riverside. They are students who are taking classes in peer tutoring or mentoring and who have regularly scheduled times each week to meet with an elementary buddy.
And after they've taken at least a quarter or more learning how to be a tutor, learning how to be a mentor, they come over and mentor our students. Some of them come for our after-school program, some come during the day and have a buddy, a particular student that they buddy up with to spend time with, whether they're working with the student with educational concerns or playing games with them or just providing additional support or encouragement to do their best. And so we found that's been a very successful project.
To look up the top, this is the first up here, the first word, and this is the last one down there. That'll make it easier for finding, okay.
They look forward to the tutors coming in. It's very interesting, and you'll notice some of the children will wait from Monday until Thursday, knowing that on Thursday is the day their buddy comes. And frequently they'll come into breakfast in the morning and say, "Today's the day my buddy's coming." So it's very important to them to have someone that really is focused just on them.
When their buddies aren't around, the students often pair up to help each other in cooperative learning activities. Cooperative learning is a strategy that is seen in many classes at Riverside. It helps students develop social skills and teaches them to rely on each other.
I think as young children working in groups helps them realize that there is always help and that others, even though they perhaps wouldn't choose that person to work with them all the time, they gain insight and information from that person's style and sometimes that person's background. So I think in the long run, the children learn that working with others is more fun than always being on your own, and that it's fun to share ideas and share information. It takes a lot of pressure off of their learning as well, I think.
This second grade class is currently studying oceans. Today they were learning facts about different types of sea creatures.
These mammals can be found in the oceans from the North Pole to the South Pole. What do you think it is? Tell me.
Dolphin.
Dolphins. What was the key word there?
Mammal.
Way to go, Elizabeth. All right, put that one right there.
After whole group instruction, they chose some books, then broke into smaller groups where they continued their research projects. The object was to do research and take notes so they could later record the information on data retrieval charts. This project served as an impetus for teamwork between students.
So he eats it. Eats the meat. Sort of like you do with those tweezers. When you go to a steak restaurant, you crack open the shell and take out the meat and you eat it. That's what he does.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If you want to go in a group, you can go in a group with your friends and stuff, but you can work alone sometimes. I like to go in groups with my friends because we get to share the ideas and we decide which one gets the ideas, and then we decide which one's going to say it and write down the stuff.
Why fish?
Fish and lobster.
And crab.
I don't think they eat crab.
What do you think you'd call that? Orange? Tam. That'd be tam.
And then I see some red.
Yeah. Blue. Okay, tan.
Blue.
Eva Price's fourth grade class was also working in cooperative groups. Each group member was assigned a particular task. They all worked together to make and record as many observations as they could about various pieces of artwork.
I have found this to work beautifully with the children. I tried to arrange all different ability levels so that the child who has a lower ability has someone to look up to and does not feel that he or she cannot make a great contribution to the group.
What's that stuff underwater? Oh, that's the deer that's going under. See that?
Oh, yeah.
Rocks. Maybe is there horns or what are these? Oh, yeah, like that. So they go. Yeah?
Cooperative activities are also a big part of learning on computers.
When the kids work together, the ESL children and the kids who are more proficient in the English language, using the computer together, there isn't the language barrier. The Apple computer uses a lot of icons or pictures so that they can work together and show them where to point or where to do things. It also enriches the language and the vocabulary of the kids in certain writing programs because it could provide the words for them.
These computers are being supplied by the Technology Pilot Project. As part of the project, each classroom in grades K through 4 has 4 Apple Macintosh computers. These technological wonders fit perfectly into Riverside's plan to address individual needs. The computers break all academic and language barriers, and all children, regardless of their ethnic background or academic level, love these machines.
We have found that there isn't a child, no matter what their ability level is, that can't access what they want on the computers. The kindergarten children especially love to be on the computer. They want to write and they want to be able to put thoughts down on paper, and they can't do it necessarily with pencil and paper, but to get them to start putting letters and forming what they think are words and sentences on the computer is very easy for them.
My children love it. If I say today's free choice, Zoom, they all want to go to the computers. They love to work with them. They're very comfortable with them, more so than I was when I first started working with the computers. And some of the children have really taken on the responsibility of instructing other children.
They're great at it. I spend a day usually telling them what we're going to do, showing them how to use the computer. They all get around. We go through the program of what they want them to do. The next day I have 2 or 3 experts. Oh, I remember. I know how to do that. We can do this. And they go around and help each other that way. So they really have picked up on it easily.
Well, my story is supposed to be what's happening underneath the water, what's going on. 2 dolphins are helping each other find their way to shore.
Other technology includes CD-ROMs and Laserdisc players.
Who knows what is happening in this picture? Nastasha.
It's foggy.
It's very foggy. Can you see the house very well here?
No. It's white.
This technology is a great addition to Riverside Elementary. Not only does it spark students' interest and make learning fun, but it crosses social, cultural, and language barriers, bringing children together. When the school day is over, the learning doesn't stop. This is RAP, the Riverside After School Program. Here, the day ends the same way it begins, with the staff coming together to give attention to individual needs.
A lot of the students have come to me as a counselor saying, we wish someone could help us with our work. We want to do better in school. And so we decided to try to write a grant and get permission from the county to have after-school late buses. And that's how we started. We got the grant and the county gave us the after-school bus, and it's grown from there. It's a very popular program, and we have a waiting list.
Students come here on Tuesdays and Thursdays to work on homework or special projects. Administrative and guidance staff, as well as faculty, are there to help.
Okay, you caught your mistake. All right, now check. Is it the same? You got it. All right.
Right now what we'll be doing is picking spots in it that need a little extra help.
When they're not working on their academics, they're working on their music. With over 90% of the 5th and 6th grade in the band, Riverside has the largest group, for schools their size, in the county.
Ta, 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 once again, ready, and. One more time. I could use a little more trumpet. Guys, be sure
According to Principal Jan Funk, the school is jokingly referred to as the Route 1 Conservatory. This is a far cry from 3 years ago, when there were only 7 students in the band. Band director Christy Thomas explains why that number has grown so tremendously.
We're very fortunate to have the Mount Vernon High School band across the street, which is nationally recognized, and they came over and did a recruiting concert that was one of the most exciting things I think the kids had ever seen, and everyone wanted to try it.
Just as the staff takes an active role in the students' education, they take an active role in the band.
In our concerts, almost all the 5th and 6th grade teachers play in the band, and our principal plays the flute. It's just by accident or ironically, they all played instruments in school or have actually learned to play an instrument here at Riverside. Some of the teachers are actually in the classes. So that's the kids just, I think they think everybody plays an instrument. That's what I think has happened. I think music in this building and the band is a great source of camaraderie and an unbelievably fine equalizer. Everyone's the same. There isn't any set of standards or rules for being a good player, and that's really exciting. Some students that perhaps have trouble in a subject or trouble in other areas may be the very best trumpet player, and that, for the self-esteem here, I think it's been magnificent. We have some ESL students this year for the first time here that I've had, and it's pretty fascinating because words are almost unimportant when you're teaching music. You can show. And so I think the ESL kids have felt very comfortable. It's been a real nice place for them to come and be because all of a sudden, again, they're the same. So that's been a very positive thing. There's nothing elitist about it at all. Everybody has the right and the opportunity to try. And desire is really all that matters to me. If you would really like to do it, that's good enough. And then we do the very best we can with everybody's abilities.
Doing the best with everybody's abilities. This theme runs throughout the curriculum as the Riverside staff looks closely at each child's unique set of needs and provides for those needs. Through one-on-one attention, special programs, and technology, they are providing a means for these rockets to reach for the sky.
Have a good day, Rockets.
I need to tell you something else. My favorite football team is the Buffalo Bills. And I can't believe they lost that Super Bowl.